meeting. So if you would like a video of it, you're welcome to just tell me at the end of this session or shoot me an email and I'll send you a copy of the video. Um, if you're new to Collaborate, at the very bottom, you should have access to, in the middle of your screen, a microphone if you would like to speak, or if you have a question, just hit the raise your hand. Also on the right side, you have a menu. The little bubble is the chat box. You can chat with um, the whole group where it says everyone, or you can go at the very top and private chat if you want to chat with somebody else in the session. So if you have questions, feel free to just turn your mic on or to type in the chat box. All right, let me share my screen. All right, so the first thing we're going to talk about today is Collaborate. That's what we're using right now. So you're getting a good introduction to the functionality of it and how it would operate within your own class. Um, I use Collaborate in my online classes. It's a requirement that my students attend to Collaborate sessions. I usually hold about 5 to 6. I think this past semester I got overexcited and had about 8 to 10, and students can come if they want. I do mini lectures. I record upload the video to YouTube and then put it into my courses. So it is a functionality, a tool that I think is very robust and really nice on Blackboard and pretty easy to use once you get past the kind of the nervousness of the technology glitches and so forth, which are bound to happen with any technology. Um, so the way I do it is I put in a survey in my classes. I use the Blackboard survey tool. I ask my students, I give them a list of times in which they can come to the Collaborate sessions, and based on the time that is the most the most picked time, I suppose, is what I do. So I'll show you an example of that. And level 2, we talk about the survey function, but this is just an example of the surveys I put in there. I think I just, all right. So this is a survey. You can see I give them multiple times. I usually send this out a week or two ahead. I try to vary the time. So if one week we meet in the morning, then the next week I'll try to have predominantly evening meetings. My meetings are always just 30 minutes, so that it's rather easy. Students can connect. Um, oh, Teresa can't hear me. Does anybody else have issues hearing me? Is my sound coming in okay? I'm showing that my volume is working, breaking up some. Okay, let me see. I'm trying to. You're coming in, but there is some breaking up. Okay, let me know if let me take out. Just give me one moment. I'm going to remove my headphones and see if that doesn't help. Okay, can you all hear me now at all? Yes. Okay. Let me try it this way. I've had that problem in the past. I don't know if it's because I'm running to Collaborate, if that, or I'm not sure what the problem is, but I'm thinking it's my headphones, my first guess. But now I'm not using headphones, so hopefully that'll improve. But what I do is I give them a survey like this, and then I look whatever the top answer is. So here, 60%. That's the date we go with. I open a Collaborate session. I drop a link into the announcement, and they all click on it. Just similar to what I did for this meeting. I sent out a mass email with the link in it. So it's up to you how you do that. If you want to use Collaborate for just your own meetings, or your office hours or something like that, you can do that as well. You can have standing meetings and so forth. So, all right. So I have, so to go to it, I go to the course tool. No, Bert, there's not a number, or it should come in. There's an open microphone somewhere, and that could be part of the noise problem. Teresa, I show you have your mic open. If you could just mute that on the very bottom of the screen, that could help us slightly with the volume problem. Yep, perfect. Thank you. All right. So when you go to the Collaborate tool, you just click on Blackboard Collaborate under Tools, and then you will get a view such as this. I will say Collaborate needs to run off of Firefox or Google Chrome. I have not had really any success on Internet Explorer, and it'll prompt you as well if you're trying to get on through Internet Explorer. It'll say, hey, this is not the right platform for that. So when you open up Collaborate, usually doesn't take quite this long. Let's try it again. It should spin for a second, and then we'll bring you to the opening menu. Try to back out of here. All right, let me try to go into a live course and see if that doesn't help solve that. All right, I think last time I hosted this training, it was a little finicky like this too. So let me try to improvise while we're waiting and hoping that's going to come up. So once it does come up, what you have is two different options. You have an option to create a session or to view your recorded sessions. You just click on create a session, and then it will ask you to set up all of your guidelines and criteria for that session. You can also do this within your, anywhere you have your content bar. You can add these to the course. Of course, I'm in a course that doesn't have content bar. But you can add this, so if you want to have maybe just a folder for your Collaborate sessions, or if you want to have just a content area where you access them, you can do that as well. So for example, here from the content, I can merely click on tools, go to more tools, and Blackboard Collaborate will be one of those options and can put a direct link into this area. So if that's something that you prefer to do rather than just send out the links as I do, you can do that. And it'll have you set it up here within the file. So let me try one more time to see if I can get in through the tools. And if not, we'll just use that pathway. All right, let's go back to content. I apologize for that problem. I have no idea why it's doing that. I will say typically I don't get any type of technical issues such as that not opening. But say I want to create a link in Blackboard so students can automatically link to Collaborate. I can just set it up like I would any other assignment. Decide on the color of name that I want it to be. I'm going to do a pretty pink. Whether I want it available and so forth. So then I have a direct link right here into Collaborate, and it's going to link into your Collaborate tool. So it's just like a paste in an announcement link or something like that. It just direct links them into your sessions. So it doesn't look like I'm going to have a lot of success at all on that. Let me just try. See if I can't get in through Explorer. I at least want to get in far enough so I can show you how to set it up. I might not be able to get into the actual tool through this way. Oh, come on, computer. I'm very sorry. Just bear with me for 1 second. Okay. I'm just getting a very slow internet connection. So I think that's what is causing a problem with my Collaborate. Okay, so let's try this again. See if I can't go into that course I was going to show you. Okay, perfect. All right. So it's not going to actually let me into the session through Explorer, but at least I'll get to show you how to set one up, and you can kind of play with it on your end. When you come here, you have two options I mentioned up here. You have your sessions and your recordings. So if you record a session, you can it'll show up here. It usually takes, depending on how long the recording is, 5 to 10 minutes, 30 minutes, and to download. I also use Collaborate a lot for a video capture tool. I've just kind of gotten spoiled to using it, so sometimes I won't really host meetings. I'll just open a session up real quick, record a 5 to 15-minute video about maybe some instructions on an assignment or whatnot. I'll record it, download the video, I'll put it on my YouTube channel, and then embed it into Blackboard. So you can also use it for a video capture if you'd like to. So these are my recordings. If I want to go and look at recent recordings or something like that within the last maybe the last semester, I can go and try to find some. Oh, this is my fault. So I was going to say, there's recordings in here. All right, so to create a session, though, you just click on Create Session. You give it a title, whatever you would like. You can add some details here if you would like to add. I'm sorry, some here in your description. You can add any description of the setting that you would like. But once you click a title, you're going to automatically generate a guest access here. So this is the link that I copy and send out to everybody. And like I said, the way I did it for my students is I sent out on the announcements, this is the link for today's session, and they just click on it. And like I said, they can click on it from their cell phone, their tablet, their computer. If you're going to have them interact in like group work, or if you're going to have them use video, you probably don't want them to be on their cell phone. But if you just need them to have audio and see the screen, they can do that as well. And so I sent that link. But then you have all of your details here for your meeting. So when you want the time to start, when you want it to end, if you want it to be a no end session, if you just want to leave it open so that students can access it at any time. Maybe you want to create a collaborate room for students to be able to go in. You do that, or whatnot. If it's going to be a repeat session, so if you're going to set up maybe your office hours on here, you can have them log into the session. You can set it up to a repeat session so that there's just a constant use of the sessions created. Then you decide your entry point time. So I usually do 30 minutes just because I like to get in early. If I'm going to share documents and whatnot, I like to get them in early, upload them, and allow time for that. That's up to you. And then you can decide on the participant's role. I would suggest leaving it at a default participant. If you're going to have students do maybe presentations on here, or if you're going to for some reason give them control of the system, you can always change that once you get into the system. So I would just leave it as a default. You do want to make sure that if you're going to record and you do plan to download it, make sure that you click allow recording downloads. Otherwise, it's going to record the video for you, but it's not going to allow you to download it. It will generate a link in which you can send the videos to students through a link. It's through a Blackboard link. And that works okay. What I found through the problem with just sending a link of the recording is that more students issues viewing the recording. So I got to where I downloaded the recordings, put them into YouTube, and allowed students to view them from that perspective. Anonymized chat messages, that simply means that if you look at like our chat screen right now, you see everybody's name, Kathy, Meredith, Teresa, and so forth. Whenever you look at the recording, those names won't appear. So if you plan on using this video and you don't want students' names to be out there, you can anonymize them. They'll still be able to see the information. So if students, sometimes reading this chat session, the chat box is very helpful for students. They'll still be able to have that. They just won't be able to see the names. All right, if you want to do profile pictures or not, and then what the participants can do, whether you want them to share audio, share video, post chat messages, and draw on whiteboard files. Typically, because I don't require video, I take that away, and I typically take off the ability to draw on whiteboards as well. You can always add this back in whenever you go into the session, or like before you start the session, you can monitor those settings. The one thing I'll caution you with video is that the more people you have on video, the more likely you are to slow the system down and to run into some technology problems. So video is great. I use it quite frequently. When I'm lecturing to my students, I'll use the video. We've hosted a distance ed meeting using Collaborate, and we had about 4 people sharing videos, and we didn't have any problem. You really run into the problem when you have about 20 people sharing videos. So just kind of a there. All right, and then here, if you want to be able to moderate private, you want to see private chats, or if you don't want them to chat privately, you can change that. So once you're done, you just click save, and then you have your session here. And to join the session, I just can click right here and click join. If I want to change some of the settings, I can do. These Collaborate sessions give you very nice reports. I'll show you an example of that. If you want to delete the session, and then if you want a copy of the link to send out again to somebody, you can. Like I said, this is not going because this is Explorer, but ever the optimist, let's give it a try and see if maybe it'll let me. So when you start your Collaborate session, it will appear as this. It'll you have a purple, a purple wheel, yeah. I changed it. But from a regular view in here, since you would be the one running the session, it would just allow you in for prompted you to give a name. Into the session, much as you see right now from your screen, you will have the toolbar here. And that allows you to chat, allows you to see participants, allows you to see the whiteboard, and allows you to see settings of very much the view you're seeing right now on ours, with your bottom tools with raising your hands and so forth. I think the one difference that you're not seeing from your screen is on the very left-hand side. There's a open session menu, and that's where you click on your recording button to record the session. So let me go in, since we're having some issues getting into. Right, I'll try back to Firefox in just one moment. Let me show you some previous sessions that I have. I can see what they look like. Do this one. All right. So what I'm going to do here is go into my recordings. Make sure I'm in the right place yet. Oh, and I'm not in the right. Spring 2018. Sorry. All right. So the other thing I'll mention while we're waiting is whenever you get into your Collaborate, you will see on your side, on the right-hand side, the ability to share things. You have access to whiteboard, you have access to sharing documents, you have access to groups and polling through there. I'll say with the documents, they need to be either PDF or a PowerPoint document to upload and share them. So if you're going to use some kind of Word document, just convert it to PDF before uploading it. If you're going to use a PowerPoint, they transition very nicely on Blackboard, and I'll show you some examples of. I do a lot of voiceovers using this Collaborate with my PowerPoints. So here you can see some of my previous recordings. If I wanted to do all, kind of look through the whole semester, go back and all the sessions I did. The real nice thing here is I can watch it directly from here. I can look back at the links and so forth. So here's, you can see all of the sessions. It'll filter them out after 30 days, but you just have to go back into that lookup to the sessions. All right, so here is, I want to see my previous session. Just showing all my previous sessions. But one of the really nice features that it has here is your view reports. So I do this after every session. I'll do it after our session today to keep my my roles. Let me here and try to do one that's more recent. Oh, yeah, it releases them. But what I do shows you, it'll immediately show you the names of the students, what time they logged in. If they have any technology problems, it's going to show you that they backed out at this time, they came back in this time, and it gives you a really nice report that you can print for your records. So that's what the view reports allows you to do within Blackboard. I will show you just so you can see some of my, I have here my announcement page, so it's the easiest way to access them. Like I said, I turn them into YouTube videos. They're rather simple to do. Download the file and then put them in there. So here are my, here's an example of one. This one is, let me try one, I'm sorry. Let me try one that has the, I know I have one right in here that has a example of a PowerPoint. So you can see one thing I will say is whenever you come up on when you turn a video, it's going to ask you, are you happy with how you look? You know, everything good in your background. And you really want to take that moment to make sure that you look good, because once you click yes, your video will go all the way to the left hand side of the screen and you'll be a very, very tiny video. To the student, however, and the viewer, you fill the entire screen. So it's kind of something I had to learn. So this is an example of, I opened a session just talking my students, and then I shared a PowerPoint and it filled up the whole screen, and I just talked through this PowerPoint, lectured as I class. So you know, I do voiceover on PowerPoint as well for my online classes, but this I thought was much nicer, much more personalized than just doing those voice add-in on PowerPoint. So as you can see, PowerPoint works very nice. Yes, Kathy, I see you got your hand up. Sure, yeah. So so let me try to log back into Google Chrome and see if I can't get into the system to actually show you that whiteboard. So the whiteboard is rather nice. While I'm trying this, let me show you on here the whiteboard. So this is what the whiteboard looks like. I'm not sure if you can see the tools at the very top from the student view, but it's not overly friendly. User friendly, I would say. No tools. Okay. So at the very top, you have a pointer, you have a pencil, you have some shapes, you have text, an eraser, and then different writing. So, for example, the text here, when y'all came into the session, I had it up there. You just pick your text, you click the text box, and then you start typing. So the problem with the whiteboard is it's not as intuitive and easy to use as a real whiteboard or some more robust systems that use this kind of technology. But it is a nice kind of ability to write on things. You know, here's the pencil that I'm using, the shapes. There's a few shapes that you can kind of play with in there. So like I said, it's not super easy to get into, but it does, or to use, I guess. But it is rather easy. Once you switch off of it, it erases it. So if I go back here to share my screen, I'm going to lose everything that's on the whiteboard. It just kind of erases and it goes back to my screen. So let me try one more time to see if I can't get into Collaborate so you could actually see the instructor view. I'm back on Google Chrome. I will say one of the problems with Collaborate is that under the content you have the share my screen feature, which is what I'm doing now, but I'm doing it off of a dual monitor. If I shared my actual monitor that I'm operating this session on right now, it'll give you multiple screens. And it's a glitch within Collaborate. We haven't been able to fix it yet on this campus. So if you have dual screens, the share your screen is pretty easy. If not, you have the share your application option, and it'll allow you to do that. All right, so it doesn't look like this is going to work for us today. But I encourage you, go ahead and within your own classes, you can play with this tool and delete them. Students won't see it. You don't have to worry about that. You can play in an old course or a new course to access this material. But go to the Collaborate tool, click on it, create a practice session, enter it, and then start playing with the tools within. You have a lot of functionality with the Interact tool within the Collaborate session, which is going to allow you to break students into groups. It's very, very simple. Break you into groups, and then you as an organizer can move in and out of the groups. So if you want them to do group work, you could do that. Most of the sessions I hold, like I said, are brief 30 minutes. I review information in the class that I think are highlights that I really want to make sure that the students get. And then sometimes we just do conversations or prepare for tests and so forth. So sorry I couldn't get it to actually show you more, but please feel free, like I said, play with it on your own Blackboard, and don't be afraid of messing anything up, because it's rather easy to delete a session and students don't see that notification. Like I said, you can either create a link into from the content area under your tools for students to direct access into the tool and see the sessions, or you can do like I do, is I simply just put the links within the in the Blackboard announcements for my students, and they get that via email and on their announcements. All right. So if you have any questions about Collaborate, let me know, or send me an email. I'll be happy to help you. If you're going to actually use a Collaborate session and you need me there to hold your hand, I'll be happy to do that as well. I think, you know, you want to practice with it at first. Make sure that your computer will actually run it prior to getting students on there. As far as student issues, I haven't had really any trouble with students. I do have students having some connection issue, and that's usually because they don't have good internet connection. On your user in your course, get into Collaborate, and you get attendees and participants, you will be able to see next to their name what their connection is like. So if a student is struggling with connection, you'll see there'll be a little red line by their name that, you know, says poor connection, weak connection. And you'll also see students coming in several times. They might leave and then enter back in with, you know, a number 2 by their name or something like that. And that usually is because they've switched devices or whatnot. But if you'd like to play with the tool and you want my help, I'd be happy to play student or come to your office and help you play with the session. But you can practice with it on your own on your Blackboard. All right, so the next thing I was going to show you in this session is your packages and utilities within your course. So right down here, you have packages and utilities. There are a couple different functions that you'd use in here. You have your bulk delete function. If for whatever reason you wanted to pull mass areas out of your courses, you can do that. So this shows you every content material that I have in my course. If for whatever reason I wanted to just, you know, maybe I copied something wrong into this course, or I didn't like the design and I want to take out all of the content, I want to take out all these weeks, I would just click on that and then hit submit, and it will remove it all. It does warn you at the very top here that this is a final action, and it will warn you again once you click submit. Because it cannot get done and it can't be retrieved. We don't have a secret kind of retrieval for that. So that is bulk delete. Then you have your course copy. If you would like to, I'm sure many of you use this feature if you teach online. If you'd like to copy a course from one semester to the next, you just click on course copy, and then you walk through what it is that you want to copy within it. You're going to choose here at course type, you're going to choose copy into an existing course.
You'll have to wait if you're trying to copy into the next semester. You have to make sure that course has been populated already. So if you're copying now into summer or fall 2018 courses, those are all populated. Then you just click your destination, and I'm going to go through my courses and find which course I want it copied to, click on it, and hit submit. I'll go through this and just and then you're going to pick what all you want actually copied. Okay. And once you click all the things that you want to include, then you hit submit. It'll give you a green cue up here saying that the course is going to be copied. It'll take some time and you'll get an email when it's finalized. If you do this during a not busy time, it happens pretty instantaneously. I actually copied parts of this course into my fall course yesterday. It happened within, I think, a minute. But if you wait until like 2 days before school starts, like that whole week of August prior to school starting, you're going to have a lot more load on our system. So you'll see that those course copies will take a little bit longer to do. Not terrible, but it just won't happen immediately. So if you're on a time crunch, that's kind of difficult. I do want to show you one other little benefit. This is outside of packages and utilities, but it's in your course tools. You have this great little tool here called Set Grade Center Due Dates. This is fantastic for if you are copying over a course. So if you have a course that's really solid and you're going to copy it over every semester, but you just need to go through and change the due dates, you just go to Set Grade Center Due Dates, and it'll show you everything within the course, and you can enter the due dates for those assignments. Now it's not a robust tool, as in you can't do all the exact things that you can do with an assignment, such as setting an opening and closing date and all this. This is just for setting due dates. So for a class like this is my online. You can see how many assessments that I have running in the course. So this is a nice, instead of going into every single folder, which I have done in the past, which is the difficulty of rolling over courses, is going into every folder and setting those due dates. You can just use this tool to set them, kind of mass set them. So you could just go down your schedule and change those due dates. So it's a very nice feature if you do have, if you already have in place a strong online course that you're just rolling over and kind of tweaking. That set grade due dates is really nice. All right, so going back over to the packages and utilities, you have export and archive a course. So you can export the course to your computer. You just click on the export a course, and it'll allow you to save the file to your computer. If for some reason you want to export a course and then to import it into another course, the same design and layout instead of a course copy, you can do that. You just click on export a package. It sends it in like a zip file to your computer, and then you can import it. I will say, if you're going to try to do this between Blackboards at different institutions, it doesn't always work. So whenever I worked at LAT, I had very, very strong courses that I had created over there. And so I tried to export them and bring those packages over here so I could keep my courses that I've worked so hard on. But we don't have the same Blackboard, some of the same policies or some of the same tools open and so forth. And so the courses didn't actually copy over. So I will kind of warn you on that you can't always take them from a different institution or different Blackboard platform, even though it seems like you would. The other thing that you're probably going to be using, or many instructors are using now, is an import package or a cartridge. This usually comes from a publisher. Most publishers now have some kind of a course package that comes with it. My American Lit classes, this is my American Lit, it's a great example. It comes with a course package. I imported the package, and it gave me, it's down here, all of these great course materials, instructor materials, tests, PowerPoint, and so forth. I strongly emphasize to use this as supplemental material. Don't let it guide your whole course, because you definitely want to be the sole designer behind your course. But nonetheless, these are great. You know, like I said, it's a great kind of extra material. It gave me some maps and pictures and things that I didn't have before. So you see here that this all came from the publisher of the book that I'm using for the course. The one caution I will give you is when you do that, be very careful. Copy over, import a course cartridge or a course package into a sandbox. So if you know that you're going to do this, just send me an email, say, hey, I need a sandbox for whatever course that you're teaching. Because when you copy in those course packages or cartridges, oftentimes if it is a course or if it is a product that has a strong design behind it, it will take over the design of your course. So as you can see in this course, which is being redesigned to meet our new standards, the way that the course package is designed was to run all of the material off the tools bar here and build folders from this angle. And that's not how I traditionally have designed my classes. And so whenever I imported that course cartridge, it changed my whole design and I had to do a lot of tweaking. So it's better to just do that in a sandbox and then pull over what you need out of there. So like I said, if you're interested to see what your publisher for your book has in their course cartridges or course packages, I encourage you to download them into a Blackboard shell. Just let me know and I'll open up a sandbox for you to do that so you don't have to clutter up your course. So like the first time I did this, I imported this package. One of the things it did is it came with about 200 assessments with it, and all of those assessments automatically became live in my course and went into my grade book. So it took a lot of time to pull all of those out of the course and out of the grade book. So it's a good reason why to just do a sandbox and then incorporate them into there. So that's what your import course cartridge and course package is for. And this manage LTI links is for it's a side and not access to general courses. So you can just kind of ignore that. All right, so the next part of this training is the incorporating media, incorporating multimedia. So there's a couple different ways in which you can do that. Anywhere that you have your editor bar, you have access to mashups, as well as from content here, you have access to mashups. So for example, if I went into my announcements, I have my editor toolbar. Or I can create announcements. All right, so this is your editor toolbar here. You have your mashups right here. Again, they were in the content, which we just saw. Mashups are really nice. They're basically filtered through, you know, their videos and so forth pulled in through Blackboard, so it gives you direct access, so you don't have to embed a code or anything like that. But you could click on, for example, YouTube video. It does do Blackboard does a pretty nice job of keeping up to date and maintaining these YouTubes. So you might not always find what you need, but I've never not found what I need. So let's see. So for my humanities class, I usually show the history of dance video. It's the evolution of dance, just a silly video. I just search it and hit select, and then it's going to ask me if I want to name it something different, if I want to show the URL, and if I want to show the YouTube information. Best practices suggest that you click don't show the YouTube information. This will make sure that none of those, all the kind of extra information that comes with the YouTube video is not added, and you don't have to worry about also having any of the comments and so forth filter in. And so then I hit submit, and it directly embeds here. So again, it's just a little easier. I could do, you know, I could go directly to YouTube and search the same video and then get the embed code. same one here, click on it. And go to my share. I can either copy the link directly and paste it in, or I can get the embed code and then add it in to my announcement. So I can take that embed code, come here to insert multimedia, click on that, go over here to source, drop the embed code, and hit insert. Okay, and then you have the same thing. It'll come up like this video as well. So that's it. You know, you could do either or. Mashups just kind of make it a nice, seamless ability to do that. You also have Flickr photos, which are just pictures. So if you are looking for a way to maybe enhance your course and you want to just kind of search a variety of pictures, you can do that. And then SlideShare are like PowerPoint presentations. I use these as a supplemental material in my writing class. You kind of have to play through these a little bit more than YouTube or something like that to find what works for you. They have lots of videos here or lots of presentations here from, and they're usually pretty well filtered. You click preview and then you should ideally, if your internet's working properly, be able to go through and preview the work and say, okay, I like that. I'm gonna, oops, that's not the one I wanted, but we'll just go with this and then go back. So I tend to use these on topics in my classes that are complex, that students struggle with. I try to give them as many resources as possible. Again, it's supplementing my material. It's not replacing. So you can give it the name that you want to name it. Again, decide how you want it to view. I usually remove the information and hit submit, and it will embed as well into your area. So, so that's the mashups. Again, it's a really nice little tool. It prevents that extra step of having to go find the embed code, embedding it, and so forth. But if you want to embed a media from outside and not use a mashup, you just click here. You could type in a URL here if you want to. If I want to just click this video and I want to copy and paste this in, I go back to my, I can drop it there and insert, and it's going to put it here. So you can do that as well. Another way you can put media in your course is just simply by using the web link function in your content, your web link here. You can do that. It's a little different. It doesn't directly embed it into your course. I've heard some people don't want to embed, and that's fine. Obviously, the more video you embed, the more space of ours that it takes up for our campus-wide system. Right now, we have a lot of space, so that's not a problem. But if you just want to do a link so that students just click on the link and it takes them out of Blackboard, you can do that. Just give it a title, add in the URL, and then if you want to give a description, you can. And then click submit, and it just shows up as a web link such as this, and they click on it and it out of the system. So you can do either or. Sometimes if I'm in a big rush and I'm trying to just put in some information or I don't really want it embedded, I'll use that option. All right, and then I know that this is covered in session 2, so I'll just kind of glance over it. But here from your create under content, you also have the ability to directly put in files of video and images and audio to add into your courses. So multimedia is a great way to enhance your course, to get students engaged, and again, to use it as a supplemental material. If you think about, you don't like to probably like to read everything and pages and pages and pages of notes. So mashups are a great way to kind of help support that. And like I said, you can create your own YouTube videos or your own videos. If you don't want to use YouTube, you can still create video files and then upload them through this area. So I encourage you to play with that. Again, you can just kind of around it when you're done. You can just go in and delete anything you don't actually want to use. All right, so that is all for level 3. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. I'm sorry we didn't get to play with the full Collaborate tool, but please play with it. And like I said, if you have any questions or you want me to come walk you through it, I'll be happy to do so. Just shoot me an email and we'll set up a time. I know Collaborate can be very intimidating, but it's been one of the most rewarding and fun tools that I've gotten to play with recently. So I highly encourage you to consider using it in your online courses. All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for attending. If you want a recording of this, just let me know or shoot a video.